Hey guys, welcome back to Flying in Space with Planet Head. Uh, just jumping in here. This is one of my alternate characters on this account. Just trying to jump in right away. Something I talked about either last episode or the episode before, looking at other characters that are on the account as an alpha, making sure that there's some sort of skilling going on. And I pulled up Pesky Conqueror here. I'm not going to be playing with Pesky Conqueror. But while I can't get my daily or my timed skill points because I went over the 5 million on the my main character, Planet Head, I thought I'd jump in here real quick, pull up his skills, and just get those up and running because I noticed here he only has um, 3.5 million skill points running. So I'm not going to take a whole lot of time with him. Um, but thought I would at least, and I'm going to go into the old skill plan thing, um, and let's see here. Actually, what I want to do is make sure that all my engineering stuff is at the highest levels possible. Weapon upgrades, advanced weapon upgrades. Okay, those are all pretty good. How about drones? I just want to set these up on like a long list of them so I don't have to come back in here and look. Other ones I remember, now, like I said, it's been a while since I've played. Drones, you want to get them up to level 5. Drone avionics there, that looks pretty good. And there's a lot of gaps here. I could just throw some in here. I was just trying to think of different ones that would be helpful. How about electronic systems? Anything there? Electronic warfare, propulsion jamming. Not seeing a whole lot here. Medium hybrid turret. That's usually pretty helpful. Small energy turret. Actually, that's what I need to do. I need to figure out what ships does he fly real quick. God, I'm spending too much time on this. Um, Spaceship command. There we go. Okay, what is he trained in? He isn't trained in Amar. In Kaldari. Kaldari frigate, destroyer, and cruiser. Amar frigate, destroyer, but not cruiser. So that tells me I want to focus mostly on Amarian ships would be missiles and hybrid turrets. So let's go in here and I'm going to throw in um, medium hybrid turret 1, 2, 3. That's 6 days worth of training. Let's go over to missiles. Cool. A lot of stuff to work on here. So let's just go get these loaded up here. 1. I'm not killing myself with this. Missile will bar 10% bonus on all missiles, maximum flight time. Yeah, let's throw that in here. So all I'm doing right now is just throwing a bunch in here so that if I do decide to come back to him, a lot of these skills will be ready to roll. Do I want to do it with rockets? Target navigation prediction. You don't want to do that. That's cool. A lot of other stuff here I could buy into. I'm going to throw this light missiles level 5 in, only for the effect of it's 19 days. If I forget to come back, at least this will get it up and running. And then missile launcher operation. I'm going to throw that in before, because that would help with all missiles, the light missiles. Okay, so I've got 41 days worth of skill training on this. Perfect. Good. So he is up and running. Okay, good. Okay, so that actually jumps into number 2. Sorry about the. I was just thinking. Actually, yesterday I was thinking about partly what I want to do these videos about is about casual gameplay, and then the other part was why would anybody be interested in watching this if they already know how to do stuff? And part of it for me, I was literally watching a YouTube channel. It's called The British Guys, where they rewatch or watch shows for the first time, um, and give their commentary about it. Now, here's the kicker: they used to do. Um, I want to do this quickly. They used to do sports events just a couple of years ago. I didn't really wasn't into them, didn't see them before that. Then they started doing some sports shows, sports movies, and they've kind of branched off from that into more shows that they haven't seen. One of them, they're currently doing one on The Office, uh, um, and I think How I Married Your Mother. But currently, they're doing a review of Band of Brothers. Now, I've watched the Office ones, which are really funny, um, and really, they're watching these shows for the first time. And while they're doing that, they're showing clips of the show, which is reminding me of things that happened. Now, I've watched The Office 1,000 times, the American version, um, British version once or twice, um, and uh, I don't really need to watch them again. But it is kind of cool to see through the eyes of people who are either rewatching something or watching it for the first time. Currently, they're doing the series, and I do, I think, 1 or 2 episodes a week of Band of Brothers, which is one of my favorite miniseries of all time. And it's kind of interesting. They kind of pick things that I would like to see. I think they did one on Friday Night Lights, um, a bunch of other stuff. And I love listening to their commentary. So I will put a link to this video in my, there we go, copy and minimize. I'm going to put it in here into my notes. Another thing that I'm trying to do is write up a few notes prior to the video of things that I can go over. Oh, I need to copy and paste that down there, so that I'm not just flying willy-nilly when making these videos. And then, since I've got the notes, I can copy and paste those notes into the description and anything else that comes up while I'm playing. So that said, talking really fast. Let's get in and see where Planet Head's at. Yesterday, I did do a little bit of more mining with Planet Head, um, and I thought uh, the irony there was, I don't know if you saw my notes there, if you can read them. Let's see, close that, don't need that. Am I recording? Yes, I think my sound's going. Good. Got to remember to do that. Need to put a little note above my camera that says verify sound is recording. I used to make that mistake all the time. So jumping in here, day 2 of the Legion expansion. There's 19 days remaining. So I'm in here fast enough. I haven't really looked up the Legion expansion too much yet. I'll maybe have some comments about that later. But looks like as an alpha, I'm going to get some Eve marks here. So I remember seeing those a while back and never using them. I'm sure there's a reason for them. Maybe that'll be another thing that I look up. So let's get into Planet Head here. I think I want to change Planet Heads. He looks really evil. I'm not an evil guy. I think he needs some meat on his bones, and I think he needs to get that eyebrow down. So, long story short, did a little bit of mining yesterday, and as I was doing it, I did 3 separate things. Number 1, and these were 3 things that I thought I'd want to bring up today. I literally forgot that I was mining, which you can do when you're mining. This is why I need to find ways not to do this. Luckily, I'd put the shields on the ship and put the drones on the ship because I went to make some lunch and played with the dog for a little while, actually mowed the lawn, came back in and realized that my ship had been out in that mining belt for probably an hour and a half, just rotating around a rock. So, and I actually killed like 4 serpentis ships out there. Luckily, I didn't get killed. Part of it, I think, was that I had the drones. Part of it was I think I put some shields on this ship. Did I do that? Yeah, I put a shield extender on the ship, and then also I had myself rotating so they couldn't hit me as easily. So a little lucky there, but you never want to leave your ship out there, especially if you're flying something more expensive than a little venture like I've got here. So let's get undocked. So if there's a way that you can remember not to leave your stuff out, do that. Maybe I'll put another sticky note that says, don't leave your ship out in asteroid belts. So, okay, so here comes the second one. that I want to do. There's 3 things here, and these were things that were kind of flying back at me when I was doing it. And it was actually me. Uh, I had trained myself to do this sort of thing without even thinking about it. And the first one is to set up a save spot in a mining belt. I think this is really good for training for people down the road because they'll get used to making save spots all the time and using shortcuts to do this. So just to show you here, I'm going to go to asteroid belt number 2 here. Let's see if anybody's there. Every time you warp into an asteroid belt, 99% of the time, if not 100%, I'm not sure, it's going to warp you in away from the asteroids themselves. So every time when you warp in, then you have to travel to the asteroids and then mine them. So something I did remember, ooh, we've got some Duccia Foundry ships out here. Have they mined everything? Okay, they have not mined everything, but they are mining stuff. So, I don't want to go here, I think. I'm going to go to asteroid belt number 3. But if you notice, I can't tell if you can see this. The closest asteroid to me right now, right there, was about 25 kilometers. So I would have to travel to that closest asteroid to then mine it. Now, as a venture, it's a little bit quick because you're in a frigate, but there's another group of NPC miners, material acquisition. So we're going to move on to the next one. Why am I moving on to the next one and this one? Now I know these guys move around, but ooh, and there's some NPC bad guys there in the background. What are those? Serpentis spies. So I got to make sure I get my drones out. They're going to eat away at those rocks. And I think they move from... Oh, that's a cool picture. Look at that. I'm warping right in on the station. Okay. So here... oh, wait. I got a Galente destroyer. What is that? Let's go check that out. I like talking, and then if I see something, I'm going to stop. It's 100 kilometers away. And it doesn't have any bad signs as far as destroying it. Now, there are some rode-in police sergeants here, so probably somebody did something they weren't supposed to do, and they got blown up for it by the police. Oh, somebody's warping in a Punisher, so he may be trying to come back and get his stuff. Noriah, and he's probably got a micro warp drive going. That's a wreck of Coley. It's a race. I bet you he's going to beat me. He probably has a micro warp drive. Yeah, look at this. He's catching me. He's trying to get to this wreck before I do. He's going to make it there. So let's go, and I'm not going to bother. Oh, there's no mining items here. Okay, let's go to asteroid belt 5. Yeah, notice he's completely overtaken me there. Look at him. He's making a beeline for that wreckage. He wants to get that stuff, which was what I was going to do. Dang it. Maybe if I'd gotten moving a little bit faster. No big deal. Okay. Warp to the next asteroid belt here. Okay, plenty of asteroids here. Okay, back to what I was going to say earlier. Now we got some bad guys over here. So let's get my drones out. Launch the drones. Now, I'm going to just go... I'm 20 kilometers to the closest Veldspar that I can get to. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start closing position on it. And it won't take me too long, but let's say you were in a Procurer or a Retriever or a mining barge. This would take quite some time to get there. Uh-oh. Serpentis safeguards. See how much damage they can do. They're shooting me, my drones are shooting them. Okay, now that I'm within range, obviously I can go ahead and target some of these asteroids. But here's the second part. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to use my first short key that I remembered. It just literally came to me without even thinking about it. And it's Control B, okay, where you can save a location. So if I save this location, this was, what belt is this? Asteroid Belt 1. And you can name it anything you want to, but this will at least help me remember where I'm going to. Dot 1. There we go. So belt 8.1. And I'm going to go ahead and set this to never. Submit. Control B is what you use to do that. Now you can do menus and stuff like that, but the only reason I remembered to do it was I instantaneously hit Control B without even thinking about it. This is really good for setting up safe spots, mining areas, uh, a lot of different options. And one of the number one things I think a new E player should learn to do without even thinking about. And looks like we killed those guys. Cool. The big thing for mining is now, whenever I would take my ore back, okay, to the station, and I want to warp back out here, I don't have to warp to the belt. I can just warp to a good safe spot. So if I find a spot that has really good ore, or if I'm in a fleet, setting up these save spots can be really, really helpful and save a lot of time. Now let's see what's in these wreckages of the serpentis safeguards that my drone so nicely knocked out there. So we got a crystalline junk, and I can turn my afterburner off here. Nothing real special. You're never going to get a whole lot in here. Every once in a while they'll drop something crazy, but it's almost like it winning the lottery. Cool. And just some more metal scraps. Cool. Okay. And we're going to go back over to our belt. Cool. So in other words, so let's say I warp back to the station, drop my ore and my junk off, and then when left the station, instead of warping to the belt, all I would do is right click, come down here to locations, and I can warp directly to, now this says approach because I'm in the system or in the belt right now. But this would give me the ability to just warp directly to this spot versus warping 20 kilometers out. Really saves a lot of time and effort, and is really helpful. And this is a really good spot to start doing it at, so that when you do start doing explorations or whenever you're hunting or maybe doing some spying or checking things out, saving a location is, I want to say, one of the top 5, if not the top 3 first things a new player should learn to use inside the game. Okay, enough talking about that. Let's stack all, where are we at here? 18 minutes. The other one, the other point that I wanted to bring up was, let me just bring up my notes here, I'll put them over here, is the other hotkey. So you got Control B to create a location, and then the other hotkey that you really want to get used to doing, I did it so much that even when I didn't have drones out, I would still do it, because anytime I went into warp, I would always hit Shift R, no matter what. Oop, we got some more bad guys. Nice. So, and that will automatically bring your drones in. They'll have to travel to you to get to you, but it's a really good thing to get into a habit of always boom, 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 boom. Okay, I want to warp home. Shift R, drones in, warp. Just get that thing down that you do all the time. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to kill these 2 guys that are here, or let my drones kill them, actually. Keep mining a little bit. I'm not going to wait till I'm full up here. I'm going to warp back and we're going to take a look at what blueprints I have and do a real quick look at um, whether or not it would be worthwhile for me to. I want to go through the blueprints and see, is there stuff there that I can make? Number two, is there stuff there that if I can make it, can I sell it? And number three, um, if I sell it, would it be worth more than what I could get for just the raw material? I think the next video I'm going to get a lot more depth into that, but I think it'd be a little bit fun right now just to take a look at what blueprints I have, and then off video I'll take a look through each one of them individually and see what might be the best one, and then maybe you guys can give me some pointers as to what you think would be the best to build, or even if it's worthwhile to build or not. So okay, so we got our first one dead here. The other one here, he almost dead? Yeah, okay. So we're gonna go see what he's got in him. Doo, 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 doo. I'm gonna pick up his junk. What can be really helpful when you're doing this sort of thing, if you're on a small scale, casual gameplay, like I'm doing right now, rather than trying to look for a bunch of different ores, you can get this junk from these rats and melt it down and show info and industry, like this crystalline carbonide restrained plates. If I melt it down, will give me each one of these minerals. Now, they're made from 676. If I'm not mistaken, you get like half of that if you melt them down. But I might never use this sort of thing. So there we go. Let's go check out and see what the Serpentis Patroller has. Every once in a while, you'll get just a random thing dropped that is worth way more money than it ever should be in these belts. So you always want to maybe check um, your what you call it, your what you've killed, what all the wreckage, just to see what's there. Now, what can be really helpful is if you're using a mobile tractor unit, that will save you even more time, but then that's a cost. Once you get used to doing that in high sec, I've actually lived in low sec. Now I'm going to do my Shift R for my drones to return. There we go. Good. Cool, cool, cool. Got that stuff. And we are going to warp back to our station here. Oh, actually, one other thing. I did make this mistake last time. So my stuff is in one station, but my home station is on another station. So I need to reset that too, because I could get confused, leave stuff in the wrong spots a lot. So, got our drones, cool, blah, blah, blah. So I'll do that. Take a quick look at the blueprints that I've got, because I have no idea what I got there. I just saw that I had a decent number of them. And see if there's anything worthwhile building there. Sometimes you build the raw components or even the Tech 1 stuff and sell it to people who are going to then turn it into Tech 2 stuff. Cool. So let's drop off the stuff first. You always want to drop off your mining material first. So there we go. Items there. This is all kind of the stuff I've kind of accumulated since I came back. All the stuff in the main hangar bay. Drones are good, and let's drop off this stuff here. Cool. Now before I forget, let's see if I can remember how to change my home station. If I'm not mistaken, there's a couple different windows that you can go down. There's loyalty points, ship insurance, warfare, industry, fitting, regional market, reprocessing, repair shop. Okay, that does not help me. I thought I could do it off that window. So, home station. The very first window you pull up when you pull up your screen. Fantastic. So what I want to do now is select my home station. If you see here, it's right now set to the Impro factory in Stackman. and I want to switch it over to this naval assembly plant, which is where all my stuff's at. Why am I doing this? Because if I die, my clone will be restarted here where all my stuff is. Second part being, it has that little tome tag. So if I'm going to mine here for the next week or two, I know exactly where I need to warp to. So we're going to set this home station, and we're going to set it to our current station. You can do this, or you can set it to the school that you grew up in. Or if you have I have an office someplace? Osmo did. Did not know that. Okay, so set home station to this one. Cool, that's good. Last but not least, let's take a quick gander at what blueprints I have. And close that up there. I think it was under miscellaneous. Got a decent number of miscellaneous stuff here. I'm gonna go with small things. Ooh, damage control sometimes. Let's use, everybody uses damage control. Now, my personal suggestion is somewhere down the road, try to play a game where you don't use damage control. I think that's a default that everybody uses and always shows the damage control because it's so useful. But I think a next level of gameplay is to not be as reliant on damage control. But if you are just flying around, it's always good to have it. So here's my second one. Now, I'm probably going to be off on this because I haven't messed around with this a whole lot in quite a while. But in general, we'll pull up the blueprint here. Now, the blueprint itself is not researched at all. Okay, so that's our first thing. We can research this up to lower our material costs or lower our production time. Has not been done yet, so I'll think about that down the road. I think as an alpha, I can do one blueprint research at a time. So I'll probably find some place for this. But this is just an example of what I'm going to try to look at here for a little while. Some coffee. Okay. Now, for this, I need 1,000 to make one damage control. I need 1,062 of titanium, 2 pyrite, and 53 mexilon. Now, I know I can get feldspar, scordite, I think it's feldspar, scordite, and plagioclase here in Stackman. So, let's pull this over here on the side. So I need the big one. You can almost always get titanium in high sec. I know they did the mineral redistribution a year or two ago, maybe even longer. I don't know if I can get pyrite or mexilon here. So let's see, what does plagioclase give us? It gives us mexilon, titanium, and mexilon. So plagioclase is helpful. Okay, and then feldspar, that'll only give me scordite. So I need something that gives me pyrite. Let's show this info. Industry, no. So in high sec, I can get it off of scordite. Nice. So if I want to build damage controls, I can get those minerals from the ore that I mine just in this system. So that is the first step. Can you get the minerals to get it? Number 2, would it be worthwhile for me to actually build these or sell them? Or would it be more worthwhile to sell the ore or the minerals that I would use on their own versus this? Because people may have built so many damage controls that the price went way down, so it's more profitable to sell the ore. The third one being, can you sell it? I guess that would be the second one. Can you sell it? And then is it worthwhile making and selling? So I'm going to spend some time probably later today going through this again. Now, are there a bunch of websites and stuff like that that I could look up and mess around with and check out to figure this out? 100% yes. Part of me getting back to the game again is having fun with this. I think I did this 2 or 3 years ago. but you forget this sort of thing, so I'm gonna have a lot of flashbacks of things I remember. But keeping it simple, keeping it like a casual player. So can a casual player mine stuff and build stuff to sell it and get them up and running? How do they stay safe? Build a really cheap ship with some drones. Can you get the stuff to build it? That sort of thing. Last but not least, I have this blueprint here. Question is, can I buy it someplace in the general area if somebody has it? And for 50,000 ISK, you can buy yourself a damage control blueprint. So you can build your own damage controls. Now, my final thought here. There's a lot of thoughts that are going through my head right now. But the one that just popped into my head is, even if something isn't sellable, it can be very useful to still get as a blueprint. Because if you do decide to move outside of high sec, where you can't buy things, you have to build them on your own. If you've gotten to a point where you can carry those blueprints out with you, or copies of those blueprints with you, you can live on your own, building things on your own in less areas. Example would be, let's say I decided to move to Alaska. Um, or let's say, let's change that. Let's say I wanted to move to a deserted island because Alaska would be tough to grow things. If I were to take with me, learn beforehand how to plant and make vegetables and food and things like that, and then bring the seeds and some of those foods with me to that island, I could then produce those things. Might not be worthwhile for me to sell tomatoes here. Oh, I lost my connection? What? All right, glad I'm docked up. Um, what you call it? Uh, it might not be profitable for me to know how to make tomatoes here or plant and grow tomatoes here. But if I learn how to do it, when I decided to move to that desolate or that isolated island, I could bring that knowledge with me. Um, that's a very general thing. I know there's other things that are involved with that, like climates and stuff like that. But in general, that's what the goal is. So it is worthwhile to buy blueprints and to um, train them or research them, um, even if they're not sellable items. What you do want to make sure about is you plan yourself out so that down the road it would be useful to use them. If you're buying blueprints just to buy blueprints, then it's kind of a waste of money. Um, kind of like enough analogies. That's all I got. Just over 30 minutes. And I have some chores to do as far as within Eve and outside of it. Um, Puppy, 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 puppy. Hey, did you want to say hi? Come on up. She's been lying here the whole time right next to me. She is now over 3 years old. The husky in her is still there, but quieter. Do you want to come up? Come on. Come say hi. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. You got a good girl. She won't ever look at the camera. Oh, I did spill some food on me earlier. That's what you've been waiting for. That's what you've been waiting for. You want to say hi? Hello. Hello. She's not very photogenic. Okay. We're gonna have to almost done with her. Um, what is it? Her second hide? We've been brushing that out the last couple days. Um, Undercoat. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Enough of that. And no, you can't have that egg that I spilt on myself earlier. No, you can't. All right. This is me and my life. You guys, hey, that's all I got for today. Fly safe, fly dangerously, fly everything you want. Um, I can't say I'm going to have a video every single day like I have the last couple of days. I've been a little bit jazzed to get these up and running, but I'll put them up when I can, and I'm going to keep having fun. Other than that, have a good one. Bye bye.